everyone, it's me, Marcy. Here's another Magic Meals with Marcy. As you can see, I just got off work, trying to throw something quick and easy together for us to eat for dinner. So what I decided on was to make some seared chicken tenderloin with an herb and olive oil spaghetti with herb and olive oil sauce, excuse me, and just some steamed green beans to go with it. We're going to start off by searing off our chicken tenderloin. I've already got the other side seasoned up with some salt and pepper and just a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder. Oh, pan's getting a little smoky. Let's turn that down for just a second. And here we got just a little bit of garlic powder. A little bit of onion powder. My camera woman over there, Lily's trying to get a good angle for me. So just enough to get some seasoning on it, but not too much. Turn my pan back on. The pan's nice and hot, which is what we want to sear our meat. And when you sear any kind of meat, you want to put your presentation side down first. And that's what we want to hear, that nice when we put it in the pan. Alright, we're going to let that one side sear off. Excuse me a second. I've also got my spaghetti water already on, trying to bring that to a boil. This is a sauce that comes together pretty quickly, and you're actually going to make the sauce while your spaghetti is boiling, so it's all going to come together there at the end. I've also got the green beans going because those are going to come together pretty quick too. Didn't do anything special with them, just trimmed off the edges and put them in the steamer. Ooh, that's popping. That's popping. One thing we're going to need for the sauce is some garlic. Half a head of garlic, which is about 6 or 7 cloves. So on my chicken searing, I'm going to go ahead and finish peeling my garlic. And like I said before, you just give a quick little tap, not too much, because we're going to want to cut that up into some nice slices. So we'll go ahead and start that now. First, I'm going to turn my chicken, because I think, oh yeah, it's beautiful. Probably could have even gone just a few minutes longer, but we're just going to go with that. I also have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. Because once my other side of my chicken browns, slice the garlic into nice thin slices. Anyways, once the other side of the chicken browns, we're just going to stick it in the oven to hold while the rest of the food cooks. So yeah, the garlic we're just going to cut into nice thin slices, just like we did before. Thank you, Will. I think the garlic smell's getting to my camera lady. Smells good. Come on, Lily. Yummy.
No garlic.
But it tastes so good.
Oh, yeah.
You like it. I put it in just about everything I make. Keeping an eye on our chicken there. Watch the garlic. I'll be glad I'm not doing onions then. But you could dice up or slice up some onions and put in this if you wanted to.
Oh, please don't.
We're not going to. No more comments from the peanut gallery, thank you. Alright, there's our garlic all nice and thinly sliced. And our chicken looks like it's good and cooked. I'm making a mess over here, that's alright. Yeah, that's good. Now since I've only got the one pan, I'm just going to take these out of here. Put them in this baking dish. and pop them in this oven. So those can finish cooking if they need to. In the meantime, I'm going to use this nice yummy drippings from the chicken as part of our spaghetti sauce. Actually, I'm going to take just a quick break here for just a minute and let my spaghetti water come up to a boil, because I don't want this sauce to get done way too far before my spaghetti is. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in 5. Thanks. Okay, we're back. The pasta water's finally up to a boil. It takes a little while to get 2 quarts of water up to a boil. But we're going to take just about a half a pound of whole grain spaghetti and put it in the water there. When you're cooking pasta, you do want to make sure, number one, that your water is salted. You want it to be salty like the sea, is what my chefs always said. I heard someone else say, but not the Dead Sea, so you don't want to over salt it. But you also want to make sure you use enough water, like the package instructions say, because you don't want to overcrowd your pasta, because it won't cook properly if it doesn't have enough water to cook. Alright, so we got the pasta in the water, which means we're on the clock now to get this sauce made. Again, we're going to use the drippings from our chicken that we made just a few minutes ago. And to that we're going to add about a half a cup of olive oil. There we go. And we're going to let that heat up just a little bit till it's just barely shimmering. Give our pasta a quick stir so it doesn't get all clumpy and stick together. You hear that little snapping and popping. I accidentally dripped a little bit of water off the lid of the green beans when I checked the green beans. So the water and the oil is causing that snapping and crackling. It was the same thing that was happening with the chicken, because the water coming out of the chicken as it cooked was causing that snapping and crackling. So even though that's not really what I wanted, it does tell me that the oil is hot now. So I'm going to go ahead and add our garlic that we sliced up a few minutes ago. Always keep in mind where the edge of your knife is if you're going to do something like this, or you can just scoop it up with your hands or use a bench scraper or something like that instead of the edge of your knife. I guess I like to live dangerously. So we're just going to put the garlic in the oil. We're going to just let that sizzle for a minute or two until the edges start to turn kind of golden brown. Then we're going to turn that down to low. Alright, it doesn't take long. So like I said, the edges of the garlic are starting to brown just a little bit, so we're going to turn the heat down. And while that, and we also want to add a little bit of Italian seasoning and just a pinch of chili flakes, red chili pepper flakes. There's about 2 teaspoons here of Italian seasoning. And then this is a whole bunch of parsley. This is all pretty much just stems, so we're just going to cut that off. And while our garlic is flavoring our oil nicely and our pasta is cooking, we're going to chop up this parsley. Fresh herbs, I mean, if you can get them, there's just no substitute for them. Dry herbs are great, they store, they're cost effective, but the smell and the flavor you get when you can use fresh herbs just is superior in most ways. I mean, there's always people that have their preferences for one over the other. But for this sauce, you definitely want to spend the 78 cents to get fresh parsley, or grow it in your backyard if you need to. Garlic's cooking up nicely. Turn that down. You can always turn the garlic off if you need to. Pasta's boiling away nicely over there. The chicken's still in the oven. I did turn it off, but the oven's still nice and hot, so it'll stay nice and warm in there. There we go. Get some chopped parsley there now. And you can chop it as coarse or as fine as you like. Again, you can see what I'm doing here is I've got my left hand on the pivot point and at the tip of the knife, and I'm just taking the end of the knife and just sort of moving that back and forth across my herbs. And there I go again, knocking the bowls all over the place. If you've got the time and you've got the desire, you can also, once you get this all chopped up, you can get a bit of cheesecloth, wrap your parsley up in it and give it just a little bit of a squeeze to try to get some of this moisture out. But since we're going to stick it in a sauce, it doesn't really need to be all that dry. Now this meal, if you have to buy everything from scratch, you know, from nothing in the store, it'll run you about $6 or $7. About $3 for the sauce, a couple dollars for the chicken, and then another $1 or $2 for the green beans. I actually, because one advantage to cooking like this frequently and buying the groceries that go with it frequently is that, I have a lot of this on hand. I had the garlic, I had the olive oil, I had the chicken and the green beans frozen from a previous meal I had made. So really all I had to buy was the parsley, the acid that we're going to use here in a minute, and the pasta. So I spent $3 and I'm making a nice fresh meal for my family. Alright, how are we doing on this pasta here? Let's take a look. Alright, come on. I just need one. There we go. Alright, pasta's almost done. Needs about another minute or two. Our garlic's getting nice and brown, but we don't want it to get too brown. If it gets too brown, it'll get bitter. Once our pasta is done, we're going to put it in the pan with our oil and the parsley and just a little bit of some sort of acid. Now I'm using white wine vinegar. You can use a lemon if you like. You can use white balsamic vinegar. You can use regular balsamic vinegar, but the color might be a little weird if you do that. But like I said, we're gonna go with white wine vinegar. All right, I think that should be just about done there. So we'll turn the pasta off, and rather than drain the pasta and lose all that good pasta water, I'm going to take the pasta out of the water and put it right in the pan here. Let it drip a little bit. We actually want to use some of this pasta water to help thicken and flavor our sauce. The starch from the pasta is going to help the sauce to stick to the pasta, and this works with tomato sauce too. And the salt that we use is just going to give it a little bit of flavor. Alright, there we go. Toss that in there. Use a ladle and get just about 1/4 to maybe 1/2 cup of that pasta water and just put that in there. Add our parsley. heat off, because we don't want to wilt or brown our nice pretty parsley that we just spent all that time chopping up. And then we're just going to drizzle a little bit of this white wine vinegar over the top. Again, like I said, about 2 tablespoons worth or so. Alrighty. And that's it. Quick and easy, like I said. We're going to go ahead and get our chicken out of the oven here. Grab our plate. Put some of the spaghetti right in the center of our plate here. Give it a little twist. Get our chicken tenderloin. Lay it right down there on the nest. Get our green beans. Let's get some clean tongs for our green beans. Excuse me. So like I said, real quick, real easy, other than waiting for the pasta water to boil, which is unfortunately probably the most important part of this. A little salt in our green beans. Comes together nice and easy.